So a few people have been asking me to show you guys my tools that I use at dental school. I'm currently studying Bachelor Oral Health Therapy, and I'll be an oral health therapist. So oral health therapist has basically 3 qualifications. We've got hygiene, which is cleaning teeth of any age. It's very important to clean teeth and to clean people's gums so they don't get gum disease and so that they know if they have caries, because I can tell them and then they can get fillings hopefully. 2, I've got therapy, which is mostly treating children and baby teeth, because baby teeth is a bit less complex than adult teeth and also don't last as long as adult teeth, obviously. And 3, I have adult scope fillings, which is very new, and that means I can do fillings on any age, so that is pretty good. I won't do fillings that are too close to people's pulp, because that's the nerve of the tooth, and the nerve is very sensitive. I do not want to cause any damage. Okay, so here are some tools people might have seen before. Got the mirror, Sickle Probe, Periodontal Probe, and Tweezers. So these are like very basic ones. These are ones that you probably use in an exam, which is looking around your mouth. And these are probably the ones that I set up in front of you, because I've been working at a dentist for like 4 years, and these are the ones that I use most of the time. Mirror to look at your mouth and to pull your cheeks back. This probe is very special to us as people who look after your gums, because we can test your gum height. So we test how deep the pockets are, and you have bone surrounding your teeth, and obviously if the bacteria will enter your gums and the bone may recede, so the bone may go back a bit, and that is an indicator that you may have gum disease. And with gum disease, we mostly treat by doing a lot of cleaning around your gums. Then we've got tweezers. It's pretty simple. Just grab things. And we've got Sickle Probe. I probably use this more often to check around my fillings after I've done them to make sure there's no ditches, because if there is a ditch, bacteria can enter and the filling may fail, as in need to be redone. Then I've got my Restorative Appliances. There's a lot here. I'll go through them quickly. This is a plugger. It's mostly used for the metallic filling that some people do. We don't really do them anymore. It's called amalgam, and you need to push it down a lot, so I would go around. I can show you one of my teeth. They give us these teeth at uni, and as you can see, I've done a few fillings on them. So I don't have any metallic fillings on this because we don't really do them anymore, but I need to like push down with this. This is a Acorn, I believe it's called. Is the other end. And obviously that kind of resembles someone's pit in their tooth, like a groove in their tooth. So I can recreate a pit or a groove with this. Then we've got flat spatula. This is a favorite of many dentists that I've seen. This is a golden one, normally they're metal. Basically you can pick things up with it that are like soft materials. Tooth colored material called composite we use a lot, and you kind of pick it up with this and then just like chuck it on the tooth and then formed the tooth. This is another favorite of all the dentists I know. This is a ball burnisher. One end's big and one end's small, and people just kind of press the composite, the tooth colored composite is actually material that's part metals, like little pieces of metals, which are filler particles, and then the rest of it is a composite matrix, like a resin matrix, and it works by being light cured, so light sets the filling. Anyways, this will just kind of smooth everything out. Yeah, I like using it. It's pretty good. This is a little Carver. It's kind of like the other one in that it's flat, but people will use it more often to just carve around the teeth, like that. This is a dycal. I like this. It's kind of like the bowl burnisher, but it's tiny and we use it to apply really small amounts of materials. Most of the time, if you do a filling that's really close to the root or the nerve of the tooth, you need to have a base so that the nerve is not irritated or annoyed or poisoned by the materials that we put on. So we kind of just put like a base down to make your tooth really safe and comfy, and so there's no sensitivity after we do a filling in the long term. This one is drill end, one end is a bit of a plunger or a carver, and the other one's a carver. This is a small spoon excavator. It's like a little spoon on it, so you kind of scoop things out with it. And this is another one that's a big spoon excavator. It's like this little spoon, and you can use it to remove caries that are really, really soft at the end after we drill into the tooth. And yeah, we just probably like scoop them out like that. Yeah, like that's about all we use it for. I don't use this one much, but I have been told by people at work that it can be used to kind of carve a tooth, like, because it's really sharp. But I haven't used it. And here's one just like it. I don't know why I have two. That may indicate that I accidentally took someone else's, or it may indicate I didn't realize that I have two. Anyway, those are all the restorative tools that we have. Other than this as well, it's a flat spatula. It's a bit dirty. They get really annoyed at us if we don't clean them. But they're really hard to clean as well. And yeah, I can probably mix things with this. So we've got certain cements that we would add two little liquids together and basically mesh it all together, and then it will set after we've mixed it together. Don't use this much anymore. It's used for a Toffelmeyer. It's called Toffelmeyer. And you actually put a metal band in it. You know that you can get fillings in between your teeth. So if I got a filling right here, you need to make a wall between your tooth and the other tooth, which is called a contact. So I'd use this to build the wall around the tooth so that the filling material doesn't spill over or anything. That's why fillings are especially hard if you get them in between your teeth. So please floss, please. This is used for amalgam to push it down and to collect it. I don't think I've used this before. Might be for impressions, which are when you take a mold of your teeth. A lot of people get those done, so I'm sure some of you have gotten that done. We take a mold of your teeth. It can be used so that we can make something based off the actual tooth that's there, like a crown or braces or basically most things. Use a cup that we mix the metal filling material in. If any of you have had a rubber dam before, here's the frame that we would put over your mouth, and you can kind of sits like this, and we've got a little hook around one of your teeth, which is called a clamp. Now here's an example of a clamp here. So we kind of just put it on. We try to make sure it isn't uncomfortable. Please tell us if it's uncomfortable. I've had it done a few times. I didn't find it comfortable. And we'd put that on one of your teeth, like this, kind of like that. And yeah, then we put this over with a rubber dam, which is like a square made out of plastic. And I've got scissors. They've got a 10 in them, which I don't know why that is. Might be for people who do actual extractions of adult teeth. And here are some other type of tweezers, which are used specifically with a matrix that is for, once again, the contact areas, because contact areas are hard. I have a filling on one of these teeth, a few fillings that are in between the teeth, as you can see there. So yeah, fillings in between teeth are hard and unnecessarily problematic. And here are some of the actual drill bits that I use. I'll show you the drills as well. Here's one drill. It is smaller than the other drill, and I remember this as small and fat and slow because it's slower than this one. This one is going to go really fast. It's going to drill straight through enamel and anything. And this one's slow, and it's mostly used to finish up the restoration and to finish up the actual preparation of your tooth, to remove any really soft, loose things left behind. So here's my high speed. Here is the burr that I use the most, flat fissure, and it kind of goes in, you have to press the end, and it's hard. And it goes in like that. And I'd use this to probably cut straight down to cut a tooth. That's a slow speed one. Here's another burr that I use in this one. It's just a round one, which I'd probably use, I used on this one to cut like that. So I'd cut anterior teeth with this one more likely, because it follows the enamel rod direction. And then we got this one. I've only really used this to change the contour of the tooth. And when you get a crown, we have to reduce the height of the tooth. So I'd use this and just go like straight across it. Not straight across, because I'm still following the pattern, but you know, I'm just reducing the height of the tooth, which I've done a few times, and we're only allowed to do those on children as well. Then for my slow speed, my burrs here are mostly for polishing. This one I've used before, obviously. It's like tapered, and I can use it along the grooves like that. And the tip of it works a lot, but so do the sides of it. This one is just flat, so I might use it in between teeth or just along the sides of them. This one is round, so I can use it to round off things, like rounding off the inside of this. Another round, yeah. Those are basically, and this one's just a bit tapered, so like a pear shape. And those are the ones, these are all just the ones that I use in the clinic, but there are a lot of other ones. Like, they gave us some other ones, but I haven't used them yet. Like, they gave us these. Oh, that's white. That are just smaller. Might use it next time I go in, but honestly, I don't mind. Now I'll go through my cleaning your teeth kit. So, over time, there is a thing called calculus that forms on your teeth, which is a mineral deposit that cannot be stopped most of the time unless you brush very well every day. But even then, it's still going to form a little bit. It mostly forms around here because you have a duct on your top teeth, so it will form around here. And it will form behind your bottom teeth at the front. And it will be like this weird kind of white, chalky, sometimes it can be yellow because it can get stained by the things you eat. And basically we don't like it being there because you can't clean around it. So imagine there was like all this stuff built up around this. You're not going to be able to clean underneath it. Eventually bacteria are going to get in there, and then maybe your gums will pull back, and then maybe you'll lose your teeth eventually because they'll become really wobbly because you haven't been cleaning your gums properly. I do have, so in the clinic, we use different kinds of teeth. These are my sick teeth. It's a bit ridiculous here, but as you can see, the gum is very inflamed. Inflamed gums is not a good sign. It means you're not brushing your gums properly. On this side, they are regular gums. This side, they're ridiculously inflamed gums, and I need to be able to clean underneath these gums so that they stop being inflamed and red and sore and bleeding. Bleeding gums, not good. We want you to have normal gums. And even on this side, you can see, by the way, that's nail polish. They get us to paint our teeth so we can practice removing the calculus or the tartar. Here are my lower teeth. As you can see, it's really inflamed down here. Like, compare these two to these ones. Like, look at that. It's incredibly inflamed, and probably bleedy and everything that we don't want your gums to be. So these are kind of boring, but I'm going to go through them anyway. Not boring, but you guys probably wouldn't be interested in it. I find them pretty interesting. So we've got site-specific scalers, which I prefer to use because I like them. I'll compare the sizes so you can kind of understand where I'm coming from. So this one's got a really big bend in it. This one's got a really small bend in it. Big bend means for the back teeth because you need to be able to reach them. These two are straight and site-specific. No, I did not say that.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
And yeah, they're site-specific. So these ones are for the front teeth and these ones are for the back. Probably not the very back though, because it doesn't have that big a bend. Here's my mirror again. And I've also got probe again. This one is a little bit broken, but it's okay. This is my 1314, and I can tell it from this other one, which is an 1112, because the bend is ridiculous in one compared to the other. So I'll try and line them up for you. Imagine your tooth is here. This one is for cleaning one side of your tooth, and this one is cleaning the other side of your tooth, because it's angled in that way. This one has a huge bend because it's from the back of your teeth at the back. This one's for the back teeth, but the front part of it, which we call mesial or distal. Mesial means closer to the midline. Distal means further from the midline. And everyone's probably had their teeth cleaned with this one. It's very simple. It's even got a triangle and it can be used everywhere. You just kind of scrape things off. It's mostly used for supragingival, which means above the gum line. These ones can be used under the gum line because some people do get calculus underneath their gums. And we do not want it there because it will harbour bacteria and then it will get worse and then it will bleed more. And I've also got a 13-4. Let me see. 7, 8. Got a lot of tools. It's a bit of a pain. We've got 4R, which has a very big bend, like the 13-14. So these two can be used for posterior teeth. This one can also be used for anteriors, and it is not site-specific, so that means you need to be more careful with it because it isn't angled specifically for the spot that we're cleaning. So that means these two surfaces can cut your gum, and we don't want that to happen. So yeah, those are all my tools. I think I've gone through everything. I didn't go through these little pouch of goodies. I'll show you some of them. So yeah, I know we're getting to the end already. It's crazy. Here's my green ring. You might have seen this before if you're getting a filling in between your teeth. So this green ring is used to hold things to your teeth, like a wall again. Because if you need a filling in between your teeth, you need a wall around your tooth, which I'll explain here. So imagine you're getting filling in between on one side of your tooth. You need to have a wall like this. This one is more specific than the Toffelmeyer, so that you can get the filling contoured to your tooth correctly. And we'll also use a wedge to hold everything in place, like using the pink ones. And here's something I found interesting. This is I forgot the name. Anyway, they use discs. I call them discs anyway. I'm dumb. You can use them to polish everything. Polish the anteriors going like this. it can cut gums, so you have to be really careful with it. But they're alright. So when I was doing things everywhere. When I was doing these fillings, I needed to polish them so they look normal like my teeth. See, the light reflects off everything, and you gotta get the color right, you gotta get everything right so that you guys are happy when you get a filling. You gotta make sure that it's flat, because you don't want to run your teeth on something and you can feel a bump, or you don't want to bite down on something and your teeth hit one spot before the rest of the spots, because you don't want, it's not comfortable, and also it will eventually will not be good for your jaw. It won't be good for your jaw in the end. So yeah, that's what we have to consider when we're giving you guys a filling, and that's why it probably costs a bit. I think dentistry should be a bit cheaper in Australia, but it's alright. And here is an enhanced cup. It can be used by slow speed because you can tell it's got this weird bump on it. And let's put it in here. So I think I need to make sure it's in properly. And yeah, we'll just polish everything up. It finishes things up and makes everything smooth and not too high, not too shallow, correct anatomy, and everything that you guys want when you get filling. Like, yeah. And here are some interesting things. So they have a lot of these, and they're in different sizes depending on how big your cavity is. I actually have a tooth here that I did. So I had to cut directly down with a high-speed one, which cut straight down through the enamel. And then I used this to go around and just kind of clean everything up, because you might be able to see I accidentally left a little bit of brown stuff. So you shouldn't leave brown stuff behind unless it's right above the pulp. If you leave brown stuff behind, it could come back. That's bacteria that's affected dentin, enamel dentin. So it's affected dentin, and yeah, it might cause a bit of an explosion of more cavities. On this side, it's just like a black line that I got called out for because I didn't remove properly, and it's at the junction between the dentin and the enamel, which is important in dentistry. Yeah, and those are all my things. Like, literally, it's basically all I have. I hope you enjoyed it.